What was the best moment you've seen where the real world hit a spoiled rich kid? This kid. He was a 17-year-old in my dad's hometown that was known for driving fast and being an all-around asshole on the road. He had multiple speeding tickets and a DUI on record. At 17. The DUI incident was actually a car crash that totaled his car and led to him having his jaw wired shut. So what do his parents do? They give him his license back and buy him a brand new car, which I'm pretty sure was a WRX, which crashed into a utility truck, killing himself, his sister and her friend, while doing almost twice the speed limit on a residential road. Sucks for the sister and friend. The parents should be slapped. Her friend's parents could probably win a wrongful death suit. They were stupid enough to buy the piece of shit a new car. Here's a new car after that incident. Goes and kills himself and his sister, along with a friend. I honestly wonder how the parents felt about that. I have to imagine they were racked with tremendous guilt and felt terrible. Knew a rich kid whose parents bought a car for, and he treated it like absolute garbage. Purposely driving it really hard and generally abusing it, confident in the notion that his parents would buy him the one he wanted after he destroyed the one they got him. Well, they didn't buy him another one, ever. He rode the city bus and bummed rides off of friends after that. He was the most entitled fucker I'd ever met. If he was over at your house, he would just help himself to whatever was in the fridge, like it was some sort of paid buffet. My sister, 25 years old, does that. Helps herself to food when she comes to my place. Always a luxury, don't eat all at once, items too. I always wonder at her, since she's my sister and I want her to feel welcome, but why? You're not the asshole, as long as you establish a boundary. I don't know what your relationship is like, but I feel a sarcastic thanks for asking. If you could raid my fridge while she's actively in your fridge, could be sufficient to at least make her aware of her actions. She might not realize what she's doing, but she should definitely be more respectful of your things. And then put all your sauces on the middle shelf. Spoiled rich kid showed up to school in a $325,000 sports car. He was showing off, lost control of the car, and drove it through a brick wall and totaled it. A guy I know, 15 years ago, drove a Ford Thunderbird SC though a brick wall. The wall was completely obliterated. The bumper had some scratches on the paint job. Well, the cost of the same repairs on Thunderbird compared to a $325k car will differ, haha. I mean, sometimes shit is repairable. It's just gonna cost you more than a new car is worth. Also, some shit is just indestructible, like old Volvos. Don't pick a fight with those either, hahaha. It is because they have Nokia 3310 placed on bumpers. Those crafty Swedes working together with a finish. Haha, Nokia is indestructible, am I right? Well, they make nuclear plant containment vessels out of Nokias. Saw a college guy with a ridiculously expensive car, can't remember the model, rear-end this woman who drove an absolute beater. Her car was definitely totaled and his wasn't looking that hot either. He got out and started screaming at this woman. She was in tears. He kept telling her that she was going to pay for this. When the cops came, I saw each of them give their statements. After that, me and like 10 people came forward and gave our witness statements. It sounded like each and every one of us put complete fault on him, which was the truth. When the cops went back to him, I saw his face just sink. He probably told them it was her fault and just found out that 2 handfuls of people just confirmed that he's full of shit. I've never seen that many witnesses stick around for a simple traffic accident. I think the other people felt the same way I did. That kid was a douche and should be punished for what he did. Not sure what the law is elsewhere, but here in Australia, if you rear-end someone, you're automatically in the wrong for not leaving appropriate stopping distance, except for under very specific circumstances. Pretty much the same in most of the US, but there are some states here that are no fault and require that you carry no fault insurance. But as you mentioned, in a normal at fault situation, there are exceptions to the rule: insurance fraud, negligence of the driver in front, etc. With that said, you'd have to have some real solid evidence proving the other party is at fault to get out of being at fault for rear-ending. Edit. I seem to not completely grasp no fault. Please refer to some of the replies to my comment. No-fault insurance is a total misnomer. All no-fault insurance means is that you only ever deal with your own insurance company in the case of an accident regardless of fault. But the insurance companies still apply a formula to determine fault and will then invoice the other insurance company for the at-fault repairs of their driver that they had to pay for. Then the insurance company of the at-fault driver will jack rates as you'd expect. Edit. I'm not sure how readable this is, but no-fault insurance is great. If I'm insured through this, I don't want to deal with your dickhead ABC insurance company to fix my car when the accident was your fault. I understand what you are saying, but I do not think that is what the comment was about. Here in Washington state, my insurance acts like you say. My company will deal with the other driver and other insurance company for me when they are at fault. When I rented a car in Michigan, a driver slid through a red light and T-boned the car next to me, shoving his car into mine, forcing me into oncoming traffic, where I also got T-boned. The officer wrote up the report clear as can be that there was only one driver at fault, and it was the guy who slid through a red light. My insurance company covered the cost of my repair, and the other car's insurance companies covered the cost of their repairs respectively. The officer explained no fault to me, and I did not believe him, because it sounds absolutely stupid to me. Then my insurance company explained it to me the same way. Then the rental car counter explained it to me the exact same way. Other people on Reddit have said that Florida operates the same way. Truly no fault, even when a driver is found to be specifically at fault. Just makes me think that Michigan and Florida are special kind of stupid. The only people who benefit from this are insurance companies who no longer need to litigate and can raise rates for everybody involved in an accident. One of my college roommates was very rich growing up. I didn't realize just how rich until I had to explain to her what a coupon was in very extensive detail. On multiple occasions she bragged that she wasn't even interested in her major, philosophy, or college in general, but she was at uni because her parents were requiring her to get a degree, any degree, in order to get access to her trust fund. I don't remember ever seeing her go to class, and she eventually got expelled sophomore year over academic dishonesty. I guess this was the last straw for her parents, because they cut her off pretty soon after that. This actually served as a wake-up call. She somehow managed to get a public health degree at a different school in spite of the academic dishonesty listed on her transcript. She's doing pretty well for herself these days. We've kept in touch, and last we talked she was considering grad school. That's a nice wholesome ending. Far more wholesome than most of the stories in this thread, because the spoiled rich kid actually learned something. Also lucky they can be given/afforded a second chance. Definitely, but also I can't be mad at that girl for not caring too much about school when you know you gonna have access to loads of money. I hope she writes a book tbh. I won't touch crap like "oh I was rich and became poor then made myself somewhat rich again and learned a lesson and now want all of you to know about all this crap I could had summarized in a Facebook post that'll get 12 likes from some dudes in Albania and my cousin who's always unhealthily optimistic about fucking everything, and I'm like yo the Bitcoin frenzy is gone. Those pyramid schemes will bankrupt you. I won't read that book. But she's got to write it. Local business owner puts son through college and more. When kid graduates with multiple degrees, dad decides to retire and turn over business to son. Son brings college cronies on board, has management all wear white cowboy hats and drive white pickups, begins revamping business. Dad comes out of retirement pronto, gets rid of son and cronies. Years later bankrolls son's run for state rep. The son lost. Dad dies and leaves business to daughter. I never knew the son of Dowd Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, was such a douche. Oh nice. Not right. Not right. Here's a switch. Highly successful local doctor/politician expects son to attend medical school and become doctor. Son opts out, gets job with new company called Costco, pumping gas. He's been with that company ever since. Just his regular pay raises and bonus checks give him a good life. He just didn't want the high stress life his dad had. This is the exact opposite of the plot to Step Brothers. Well, Dale has always coasted off my accomplishments. I mean, he left college his junior year because he said he wanted to join the family business. But you're a medical doctor. Believe me, I've told him that. But he just always says it's all about who you know. You're not a doctor. You're a big fat curly headed fuck. Dad, we are men. We shit with the door open. We make our own beef jerky. We take riverboat gambling trips. Do you really want to ruin all that? Dale, we've literally never done any of those things. Step Brothers didn't even land in this year's Reddit list of top 250 movies of all time. I'm appalled. Literally about to watch this on Netflix. Opened this thread and here's the second comment. I'm not gonna call him dad. Even if there's a fire. Today I saw my own son use a bicycle as a weapon. You yelled rape at the top of your lungs. He looked at me, he had the craziest look in his eyes, and said let's get it on. I'm so not a raper. That was about the fighting. I'm so not a raper. Oh, I have one. I used to work at Starbucks and there was a girl that was just newly hired and in training. Mind you, she was 20 years old and her parents made her get a job. She grew up in a very wealthy family. On her first or second day, I had instructed her to do the dishes, to help catch us up for closing. She looked at me with these lost eyes, and told me she doesn't know how. Apparently she grew up with housemaids and literally has never cleaned a dish in her entire life. I had to teach her step by step how to clean a dish. But she learned on the job instead of throwing a tantrum and walking out. She's got that going for her. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why they told her to get a job, I'd imagine. Actually good parenting. Which is nice. Yeah, I agree. Better late than never. Man, the bar is so low. First time for everything. Gotta respect that. It's not her fault she grew up with maids. That's on her parents. If she amicably learned, that's pretty cool.